Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be working on my 15-year-old daughter's room. So this room was a blank slate and she told me she wanted lots of white. You can tell she's my daughter, and blue. And she said cottage, beachy, Pottery Barn, love shot, fancy. So those are all the descriptors she gave me. And we've been working together to make that happen, including me spending almost entire month getting this paneling up on her walls. And she wanted everything the same color. So the molding, the paneling, the walls, the ceiling, everything is Sherwin-Williams Greek Villa. And she absolutely loves it. We also purchased a lot of new items for this room, including this beautiful rug. It is one of my favorite things in this room. She requested a white upholstered bed. So I found one that she really likes, and then we got some blue and white bedding to go with her theme. We got some drapes right here. Y'all, I have never used shears before, but I am loving the look. It feels so like romantic and soft, just perfect for a girl's room. Now, me and her are working together on this. So there are some things that I don't like, especially this giant mirror right here that is covering up all the hard work I did on that paneling, but she loves the mirror. I'm gonna let it go. We also have this cabinet in here that is just a placeholder. We had it until we found the perfect piece, and I found the perfect dresser for $13 at the Goodwill Bins that I want to put there instead. We just have to give it a makeover. I am also dying to add some wallpaper to the space to give her that Pottery Barn Love Shack fancy look that she wants, but I want to try to make my own wallpaper. So we have a lot of things to do in this video, so let's go ahead and get started. This is what we are starting with. The bones are great. The shape, the size, the tall feet, perfect. Everything I was looking for. And most importantly, the drawers open and close very well. It does have some damage on here, but not too much. I think I can handle it. I am no expert at repairing furniture, so this is probably all wrong, but I was not going out and buy anything new, so I just used what I had. I cut a little piece of wood just to fill in the bigger gap that was right here, and then I grabbed some IOD air dry clay. I know they probably make products specifically for fixing furniture, but like I said, this is what I had on hand, and this is what I'm used to using. So I added some glue, I added some clay, and once it dried, I just sanded it flat, and I mean, that worked out just fine. My daughter wants everything white in this room, but I am trying to sneak in some wood tone. So instead of painting the top the same color as the rest of the piece, I wanted to strip it down. It really didn't take long at all. I started with 80 grit sandpaper and then went down to 220. I want to keep the top light wood for that beachy coastal vibe she had asked for. So I took Dixie Belle clear coat in a flat finish. Y'all, this is literally my favorite sealer. It actually dries totally flat. It's available on my website, JULIESDESIGNS.com. And I used a sponge to apply it just for a nice smooth finish. Now to cover up the damage, I wanted to use IOD molds and kind of do like this anthropology look. I let her pick out which mold she likes best. I was hoping she'd pick one of these where I could kind of piece together the florals, but she really liked this trimmings 4 mold, so I made that work, and I think it really came out great. So the first thing I did was I used clay. Now, if you want an absolute perfect look, then I would recommend resin. But because I was going to have to cut this mold apart and piece it back together, clay was the perfect option. So I laid the mold over the drawer, and then I just started to cut around the florals, basically cutting the mold in half. And then I started to piece it together to get the look that I was going for. I wanted the drawers to look like it had a floral border around it and not cover the entire drawer. And it only took 2 of the trimmings molds to get the look that I was going for. And once I had the perfect layout, I just took some Gorilla Glue and carefully glued down all of the clay. I'm going to be using Fusion paint in the color Victorian Lace. It's one of my favorite whites, and I think it's going to pair perfectly with everything else in her room. I did mess up here. I should have put a coat of paint on the drawer before putting the clay on. That would have made my life so much easier, but y'all learn from my mistakes. Paint the piece, then put the clay on, then repaint. For best results, make sure you are starting with a good paintbrush. Fusion paint is my go-to for painting furniture. It has a built-in primer, it has a built-in sealer, it has a self-leveler, and it comes in the most beautiful colors. Going from black to white is not the funnest. I actually don't know how many coats of paint I put on here. I just started on the dresser, then would move to the drawers, and by the time I did that, my first coat was dry. So I just kept doing that until the piece had full coverage. But then it was done because it has a built-in sealer, so I did not have to come back and do a coat of sealer on here. Okay guys, this is not a drill. I just got VIP early access to Beam's biggest sale of the year, and Glow is half off right now. Glow Super Powder by Beam has become a part of my everyday routine. It fills in those little gaps in my wellness and beauty regimen, and it is packed with vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants we all need. So instead of juggling a bunch of different supplements, I get everything I need in one drink, and honestly, it tastes so good. I've tried a lot of their flavors and they're really good, but my favorite is the strawberry kiwi, and I also usually drink it in the car on my way to the gym because it gives me that extra boost of energy. But did I mention that there is no caffeine in here, so that boost of energy you feel actually comes from the theobromine in it. I've personally dealt with stuff like fatigue, hair breakage, hair loss. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So I'm excited to stay consistent with Glow and keep seeing results, because like with any supplement, it is not a quick fix overnight. It's about showing up daily and being consistent. And I love that it has ingredients like ashwagandha that helps reduce cortisol and stress, and other vitamins that support hair growth, stronger nails, and beautiful skin. This is your sign. Get exclusive early access to Beam's Black Friday sale with up to 50% off for a limited time. Click my link in the description and use code JULIESDESIGNS at checkout. This is their biggest sale of the year and the best deal I have ever shared, so you definitely do not want to miss out. To do the DIY wallpaper, I wanted to use IOD stamps. So me and Ryan looked at the IOD floral stamps, and there are a lot of them. We picked out our favorite. I did some samples, so let me show them to y'all, and then y'all can see which ones y'all like, and I'll tell y'all which one we picked. We just looked at the smaller floral stamp options because that's what she wanted. She doesn't want anything too big. She wants it to still be very white in here. So we're just adding some cute little embellishments with these stamps. I love this one. And they have two stamps in this one, so you could put the flower this way and this way. Adorable. She thought it was a little too babyish, and I kind of agree with her. That might look good maybe in Ren's room. So this is a stamp we ended up deciding on, and I think it's going to look really cute. Well, this is the one she decided on. Honestly, I would have been happy with any of these. I think they all look really good. So I actually got some paint to do the stamping, but it looks great here. And I used the IOD China Blue ink to do these samples for us, and y'all, it's literally the perfect color. So this is going to make my life so much easier to just use ink instead of paint, but you absolutely can use paint on these stamps. So I use the IOD ink pad, and your ink comes in a bottle like this. I've had this bottle for 4 years. It'll literally last forever. And then I ordered a hard acrylic mount to put the stamp on. So this next part was really difficult for me because I just wanted to start throwing some stamps up on the wall. But first, I had to figure out the placement. So what we ended up doing was creating a template that was the height of the wall, and then we figured out, how far apart the stamps needed to be. Then we put holes where the center of the stamp should go. That way we could put a pencil through that little hole and mark the walls and know exactly where each stamp needed to go. Now I say we, but actually me and my husband, he doesn't normally get involved in my shenanigans, but I had a would not sale, so I asked him if he could create this template for me, and he got very excited about all of the math and the calculations and everything that I am absolutely not excited about. So I marked the wall for a little while, and then he kind of took over because he wanted to make sure that all the corners lined up perfectly and over the doorways and everything. So I was more than happy to hand off the boring part. I just wanted to get to stamping. Then after all the dots were made and the placement was perfect, it was finally time to start stamping. I was so excited, but also so nervous to put this first stamp on the wall. Y'all, it worked. It worked perfectly. Okay, now we just have the whole rest of the room to do. So basically, it was lots of hours of inking the stamp, climbing up the ladder, putting it on the wall, climbing down the ladder, inking the stamp, climbing up the ladder, putting it up on the wall, climbing down, inking the stamp, putting it back on the wall. Now everything was clear, so I was actually able to see exactly the little dot we made and where to put the stamp. So our template worked perfectly. I had planned on keeping the stamp exactly the same for every one, but Ryan wanted me to rotate it and make each one different. And since the florals were kind of an organic shape, there was really no right side, wrong way, upside down, whatever. So that's what I ended up doing, and it really worked out great. And had there been a dot in the wrong place because of kind of the organic shape of the stamp, I don't think you would have noticed, but I do not think my husband made a mistake. I guarantee you every dot was in the perfect placement. So there are a few reasons why I decided to try to create my own wallpaper. One, I don't know if y'all price wallpaper lately, but it ain't cheap. Two, I was able to use the exact wall color that I wanted, because had I ordered wallpaper with blue florals, the background white would have been different than the white that we wanted, because she wanted this color washed look in the room. Three, I felt like I had more control because I was using products that I was used to working with. I have never hung wallpaper before, so I can't compare, but I would imagine hanging wallpaper was a lot, or would be a lot more difficult than just stamping. And if I messed up a stamp, which I only messed up a few, I feel like I did a good job. All I had to do was paint over that stamp and restamp it. Whereas if I was hanging wallpaper and messed something up, I would have had to throw that piece away. So I don't know, I just felt like I had more control. Now it was time consuming, but I imagine so is hanging wallpaper. It's midnight. The room is about 75% done. It is looking absolutely amazing, but I'm done. I had enough. I'm going to bed, and I will see y'all tomorrow. I did it. The projects are done. The dresser is finished. The DIY wallpaper is done. And I feel like the paneling in this room kind of took the life out of me. And doing the DIY wallpaper just kind of brought me back to life. I'm excited. I'm ready to do more projects in the house. So leave a comment below and let me know which room you would like to see next. Also, just in the nick of time, this bench came in. Luckily, all in one piece. I did not have any extra, pieces of furniture to put together. And oh my gosh, is it not the perfect color? It matches perfectly with the curtains. But it did come with these legs right here, and I didn't like them. So I had ordered some small wooden legs to just screw on instead, and I just sealed them up. Not because they needed to be sealed, just because I wanted to make the wood a little bit of a darker color to tie into the wood color on the top of the dresser. I also added some blue to this artwork. Ryan showed me a lot of pictures of what I call spackle artwork, where it's like white and textured. And we actually found this one on Facebook Marketplace. And in the center of the flowers, there was some gold sequins. But when the sequins were turned around, the backing was silver. So I took the blue IOD ink and I just poured a little bit out, and then you could use it as paint. And I painted over the silver pieces. That way the blue ties into the DIY wallpaper. Now the bones of this room is done. Like all the big things, the major elements are here, but there's still lots of other things that I want to do. Hang some artwork. I also want to put some hooks. I got this beautiful kind of chair railing here. I did order these gold hooks, but I don't know. I'm thinking they're a little bit too much. I might just want to go with white pegs that I just paint the same color and then it just blends in a little bit more. I feel like this might stick out too much. Also think some sconces on each side of the bed would look really good. And I also want to get some different nightstands. I want to give her as much storage as possible in this room. So I'm thinking if I could find like a stack of drawers that I could paint like I did the dresser and even add some molds and then put some feet on it like I did on the storage bench, then everything would kind of tie together perfectly. So we'll probably be doing a little more DIYs and stuff in this room. So if y'all have any other ideas of what I should do in this room, add to this room, let me know. I will have the links to everything that I used in the comment section of this video as well as the description. So please let me know what y'all think, how y'all think it turned out. Do y'all like the DIY wallpaper? I hope so. It took a long time, but I feel like it was so worth it. So I hope y'all enjoyed today's video and I will see y'all next time. Y'all have a great day. Bye guys.